New semester, new room, same nightly battle. Getting good sleep. Start with Kariloha bamboo sheets. From hot dorm nights to late-night study weeks, Kariloha bamboo sheets help turn any bed into a cooler, calmer place to recharge. They're naturally soft, cooling, and gentle on skin, so whether it's campus or home, Kariloha makes bedtime feel like a reset. For a limited time, get 35% off Kariloha bamboo sheets during our back-to-school event. Shop now at Kariloha, Kariloha.com. That's Kariloha, Kariloha.com.
101.7 FM 710 KEEL and on the free KEEL app. Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Caddo Parish Commissioner John Paul Young joining us. John Paul, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for jumping on with us. You're calling for a 2-year moratorium on data centers in Caddo Parish. Tell us, explain what this is about and why.
Sure. So I'm put a resolution on our agenda for a 2-year moratorium on a tax agreement that we offered to data centers. It's an incentive for data centers to come here, and it offers them a set of property tax breaks depending on how many jobs they create, and also they agreed to pay a higher sales tax than the state legislature allowed, which was the state legislature allowed 0% sales tax, and in this agreement they would pay 1% sales tax. And since that vote last December, which was made, kind of in an urgent haste and in a time when we all had very little information about data centers, and a lot of the information that we have now was being more or less concealed from us. Since then, people have learned a lot more about it, and I've spoken to many, maybe hundreds of people about it, and I think not a single citizen who's not on the payroll of a data center wants to have any data centers here. So to me, it seems like if we're going to have data centers, they might as well pay their full taxes.
So it's not a moratorium on data centers per se. It's a moratorium on the agreement that was reached prior to them beginning building, right?
That's right. So Caddo Parish is largely unzoned, and so you can purchase a piece of land and build what you want on it without permission, except in a up to 5 mile band around the city, which is called the planning zone. So this moratorium would not allow permits in that planning zone, and it would not extend the tax agreement to data centers in the planning zone or in the large unzoned areas.
So it would not allow them. It would not allow them if this passes.
It wouldn't allow them in the area where we have zoning, which is right around the city, but they would still be allowed as of right because there's no zoning in the parts of the parish that are unzoned.
But this would change.
They wouldn't have a tax break.
They wouldn't have a tax break. Now you're also calling for it looks like a study committee. What would this group do? What would be the purpose?
Well, we've had very little input, especially in an organized way, from citizens about data centers. And, I no longer think that we can count on data centers to tell us about the risks that they bring, and that's probably natural. So citizens who have interest and expertise in areas like water or engineering would be invited and appointed to a committee that would consider the consequences for data centers and make a recommendation after 18 to the parish in a report, and then the parish commission would vote on their recommendations within 60 days. And that's just it's a way to involve the public in this process of deciding how inviting we should be to data centers. And they haven't really had that opportunity up to now. We had a few public comments in December when we had our sort of rushed vote about this tax agreement. And since then, people are much more educated about the topic and have more opinions to share and more information, it seems, every week about the risks of data centers. And I think it makes sense for us to allow the people to participate in a way that is organized and must be acknowledged by the government.
Are you against data centers in general?
Yeah. I don't like them anymore.
You have taken some votes to support them, though, in the past.
Well, I have. I think the only vote that I've taken that could be considered supporting data centers is this one on the tax agreement. And at that time, we had very little information. I thought it was rushed. I actually asked our administration if we could delay it. And they said at that time, well, if we delay it, they'll just put them in East Texas, and then we'll have all the risks because it's so close, and none of the benefits because they won't be paying revenue in our jurisdiction. But, now there's a moratorium in Texas, too.
Mm-hmm. So
I think that puts us in a position of strength with regard to negotiating with data centers. And if they want to come here in our own land, we can't stop them, but we can charge them the money that they would ordinarily have to pay in taxes. And that would be a substantial amount of money that we could use to help mitigate the risks and defray some of the costs that they bring if they come and, for instance, drive up electric prices.
Caddo Parish Commissioner John Paul Young. So, John Paul, were this to pass, how would this affect the data centers that are currently under construction in our area?
Well, it would only, I don't think it would affect them because we've already, I believe, entered into written agreements with the data center that's near State Line Road in Caddo Parish. And that one, they've relied on basically a contract. And I don't think that we could undo that without getting sued and losing. And so we couldn't undo it at all.
Would it affect any possible future expansion plans or something like that?
Yes. So this applies to expansion for tax purposes. That one's not in zoned area, so it wouldn't be able to prohibit expansion. But it would not tax exempt the other property that they bring onto the site.
Now, you've got to win support of your Caddo Commission. Do you anticipate you have support for your moratorium? Have you polled them yet? Do you know?
Well, we learned recently we're not supposed to poll each other. But the support that I think exists is from the people very broadly in Caddo Parish, and I have encouraged them to come down and share their views. None of my fellow commissioners was particularly well informed about data centers in December. A couple of them were given information on a non-disclosure agreement basis, and they're the only ones who had a single clue more than the rest of us, I think. And this is an opportunity for every commissioner to continue to learn and keep an open mind. And, I don't like making mistakes, but I do like to learn. And if you learn with an open mind, sometimes you realize you've made a mistake in the past. And fortunately, I think it's possible to correct this one going forward, and that's what I'm offering other commissioners to do.
Got a text question for you, if you don't mind. What about all the jobs, economic development, and funds being raised in Richland Parish? You opposed to that?
Well, I'm not. I don't know. So I'm not talking about Richland Parish, but yeah, I think the people in Richland Parish don't want that data center much either. But there are a few jobs that are coming to Caddo Parish as a direct result of the data center and some ancillary jobs. And, I think the people don't want to make the trade-off of that number of jobs for the huge and uncertain set of consequences that come from data centers. And I think the people's voice needs to be heard about that and probably respected because they're the ones who live here. The data centers are, they're mostly computer. They're not people.
So do people, do they have a chance to discuss it at the work session today or at the meeting on Thursday?
Both. I'm hoping that everybody who has an opinion about a data center, not, directly or indirectly in the employ of a data center, will come and share their views and influence their elected representatives to vote the way they think they should. So I hope lots of people will come. I think this might be a nationwide movement to acknowledge the risks and respond to the perceived risks of data centers and try to mitigate those by, delay and study and maybe prohibitions.
Caddo Parish Commissioner John Paul Young, thanks for jumping on with us, and we'll stay on top of it.
Thanks so much. Mm-hmm. Have a great day.
You bet.
Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, and on the free KEEL app.
Back with more of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, so the work session was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it got a little exciting. Somebody got thrown out?
A couple of people got tossed, yeah. They were shouting from the audience, and they had admonished them a couple of times, for order. And it just got too far, and so the chairman, had a few people escorted out because they were hollering liar and, things like that. What I found interesting was a few things was that the parish attorney told the commission they couldn't put a moratorium in place via resolution. A resolution doesn't put a moratorium in place.
So it wasn't that they were particularly opposed to the moratorium. It wasn't the correct protocol. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the resolution does not have any teeth. So it doesn't, And then the attorney said, you can't put this body can't put a moratorium on things that a future commission might have to deal with. I question that because that happens all the time. I mean, state lawmakers put a moratorium on new alcohol permits. Well, there might be a new legislature next year. I mean, we do moratoriums on things all the time that impact the next body that's in the seat.
So he's saying the moratorium is only good for the term of that commission.
That's what the parish attorney, she said.
Okay.
And I don't know that that's correct. I would like to look at the law and see where she is getting that from. But because I know there have been lots of things, prohibitions and things that have been put in place that carry over to the next body. Now, whether or not this is because it's a tax incentive you're giving, that each parish commission needs to vote on the tax incentives, I don't know. I do know that John Paul Young did ask the administrator to put an ordinance together to accomplish what he wants. And it looks like if he does get that through, it'll go to a committee first. But he didn't have the support yesterday. There was only a couple of people that voted with him. So he doesn't really have the support. Now, he had the support in the crowd. One after another stepped to that mic and urged them to vote for this moratorium. And Chris Crackman had a good point, and I have to give it to him, whether I agree or disagree. He said there's one family on the State Line Road. They've lived there for 120 years. Their families lived there for 120 years, and it was peaceful, quiet, country setting.
Sure.
And now right across the street, they're doing construction on a massive center. And he said sometimes they're starting construction before 4 a.m. How their lives has been disrupted. But then Greg Young made a good point. He says, I grew up next to Calumet. And boy, was our life disrupted anytime there was a flame out or a fire or something happening there. And he cited several examples. There are lots of neighborhoods where industry comes in, and yes, it disrupts life for a lot of people. But for the growth of the community, sometimes we have to accept that.
Overall good.
The overall good was his exact words. Sometimes we have to do what's best for the overall good. So the debate is still raging. It's not over. Can the commission do anything about it? That was the big question. Some folks think, yes, you can. Some commissioners say, we really can't because we don't have the zoning power outside of that 5-mile radius around the city limits. So,
right.
I mean, that's the big question.
What did he call that? The work zone? What was that?
I forget what that's called. It's a buffer zone of some sort.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. Anyway,
Dangerous temps continuing. And no relief in sight. We're not looking at any rain until after Labor Day, at least. And I think, if I remember correctly, Richard Llewellyn told us through October.
Holy cow! Oh boy!
So we're gonna clarify with him coming up here in about 10 minutes. He's going to join us again. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710keel.com.
New semester, new room, same nightly battle. Getting good sleep. Start with Kariloha bamboo sheets. From hot dorm nights to late night study weeks, Kariloha bamboo sheets help turn any bed into a cooler, calmer place to recharge. They're naturally soft, cooling, and gentle on skin, so whether it's campus or home, Kariloha makes bedtime feel like a reset. For a limited time, get 35% off Kariloha bamboo sheets during our back-to-school event. Shop now at Kariloha, Kariloha.com. That's Kariloha, Kariloha.com.
Back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I got an email that said so-and-so left you a voice message. And it's a friend of mine. Don't hear from a lot.
Right.
So I thought, okay. And it was through Google, a Google message.
Oh, my gosh.
A Google voicemail message.
You clicked on it?
I thought that may be okay.
If you say that might be okay, it's not.
And I'm like, okay, let me listen to message, and then it said download message.
Oh no!
And I was like, wait,
no,
what?
No. Does this person have your phone number?
Yes.
Yeah, call me.
So I canceled immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Craig, deleted everything real fast.
Shoot me a text. Yeah.
I'm hoping. I'm gonna have to go through another hour-long session.
And that's what you are.
Jeez.
And that's what's so frustrating about all this. I'll never forget my mother calling me and going, "Are your boys okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
And that was a while back.
Yeah, that's been a long time ago. They're still pulling that crap.
Yeah. We're going to talk to Richard Llewellyn coming up just after the break, finding out what the latest is on the heat and is there rain coming. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.103 for our high today. Yesterday, Aaron, I've ridden a bike since I was like 15, street bikes. And I do. I wear shorts now. I know that's not a good idea. Yesterday was the first day I felt like my legs were on fire.
Ooh.
Next to that motor.
I bet.
First day after 50 years of riding a bike.
Wow.
It was hot.
It was toasty.
Richard Llewellyn with the Weather Channel joining us on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Richard, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all this morning?
Good. Well, we're doing well, but we work inside. Grateful to do so. 103 today, and I just wanted to kind of find out. Yesterday, you mentioned that this pattern is maybe going all the way through October?
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way. In fact, I was just looking over the numbers for the long range here as we move on out through the rest of August. And we are locked into triple-digit heat here in Shreveport all the way through August 27th right now. And I think we're going to go out, even beyond that, probably all the way out through Labor Day, the way things are looking right now. with no real signs that this pattern is going to break down anytime soon, and the strong El Nino that we are having that is basically dictating world weather conditions across the planet is going to be the thing that's going to really dictate the terms of what the rest of the summer is going to be and what we're going to be dealing with as we get into winter. I was going through the data sets this morning to go back through the strong El Nino events all the way back to the 1950s to see exactly what type of winter we can expect here in Shreveport. And there's some very interesting findings looking at the last strong El Ninos that we've had here, and all of them kind of lead toward that this winter is going to be very, very wet. So we're going to be dealing with probably a lot of rain, and there's a period of time that I want you to keep in the back of your mind from December 15th to January 15th. I think that's going to be the point where we are going to really see the impacts here across the Arklatex with significant weather, because all of the three strong El Ninos back to the 1950s that I've found, it looks like the period from about December 15th to January 15th is when we deal with the most significant weather here. So I think we're going to be dealing with a lot of heat going forward all the way out through September, probably into October and November, and then we transition into a very wet pattern that'll take us all the way through the winter coming up.
Wait, let me follow up on that. December 15th through January 15th, heavy rain. That's cold. That's ice. That's storm. That's winter precip. Could that mean that too?
Well, I think that, our pattern here is trending that it's going to be a much warmer winter for us, but there's going to be these borderline events where we get enough cold air southward that we will be dealing with the potential for some winter weather. In fact, I was going back to, there was one winter, 57, 58, that there were snow events down in southern Louisiana with a particular event, but nothing showed up in northwest Louisiana. So there's the chance that there will be some spotty snow events around as we get into the winter. But everything, the stronger El Ninos, 82, 83, go back to 97, 98, and 2015, 2016, those were big, prolific flood events that happened. In fact, the 82-83 event, which ran through Christmas, caused severe flooding across the Arklatex, did $200 million worth of damage, and 25 people died. And it was one of those billion-dollar disasters that they had in the early 80s. So that's one of the things that we're going to have to keep our eyes on. Another potential that we're going to also have to look at is the threat for tornadoes as we get into the severe weather part of the season, which is usually November, December, and January for us. So that's the other part that we're going to have to keep our eyes on as well.
Richard Llewellyn with the Weather Channel. You mentioned El Nino. What does the boy mean? What is an El Nino, and why is it affecting our weather so much?
Well, El Nino basically is the warming of the equatorial waters in the Pacific. And basically, when you see, they've got satellite modeling that tracks this. And every year you can see the warming and the cooling of the waters in the Pacific. This year is one of the strongest El Ninos on record that is basically not only having impacts in the Pacific, but it also has an effect in the Atlantic because of the fact that it's basically just kind of shut down the Atlantic hurricane season. In fact, we're just a couple of weeks away from the peak of the hurricane season, and it's crickets in the Atlantic right now. There's nothing going on. But if you look over into the Pacific, they had a hurricane that rolled just south of Hawaii over the weekend. Mm-hmm. They may actually deal with another storm in the next week or so as a new depression is starting to take shape there. And that is just due to the fact that the warm waters in the Pacific is dictating what type of tropical season that the Central Pacific is having right now. So even though the Atlantic is kind of shut down, I don't think that the quiet weather with this hurricane season that's going on right now is going to last. I think that there's still going to be a chance that we're going to see something that's going to try to form, close by in the Gulf of America or in the Caribbean Sea that's going to try to come up toward Texas and Louisiana as we get into September and October. So, I don't think that we're done yet with hurricane season. I think there's going to be something that's going to be close-in tropical development that we're going to have to keep our eyes on as we get further along into the hurricane season.
So just real quickly, is La Nina the cooling of the water?
The La Nina is the cooling of the water. And
look at me figuring that out.
Yeah, so that's exactly what the El Nino is the strengthening or the warming of the water. The La Nina is the cooling.
Richard, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, sir.
We'll talk to you soon.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Back with more McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Mike and McCarty. My baby, our dog, ate something.
Oh, no.
Like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, boy.
And thought everything was fine. And then last Thursday was the last time she ate. And this is a dog that when you start getting their dinner ready,
they're
and
hyper,
their breakfast,
yeah. They're wiggling.
We feed them twice a day.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We feed them in the mornings and in the evenings. She's like, she does this Snoopy dance.
Yeah.
I mean, she's up on her hind feet. And
the booty wiggle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Supper time. Friday. And my wife was out of town.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
So I'm like, and she kind of looked at it and just turned her head. And I was like, holy crap.
Oh, no dancing or anything.
No. I thought, okay, they need to eat something.
Mm-hmm.
And then that evening,
Nothing.
So I got some ham out of the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of looked at it and then turned her head. I thought, this is not good. Not good.
Not at all.
Found out, she had eaten a corn cob.
Oh, God.
Like swallowed it whole.
Oh.
Not a whole one, a little cut piece.
A little chunk.
A little cut piece. And,
Blocked
but it
her
was
up.
3 weeks before it affected her.
Goodness.
3 weeks.
Wow.
So
you had to do surgery?
She had to do surgery yesterday on my baby.
She's going to be okay, though.
As far as we know,
Okay.
the vet said she looked good. Her white count was good.
Okay.
The everything, all of her innards seemed
back
to be
home
okay.
now?
Yeah, we brought her home.
Okay. Does she have to have the cone of shame on?
She does.
Oh, poor baby.
But we're not putting it on her yet because she's still so
right.
so
She's
loopy.
groggy, yeah.
She's so loopy right now. So just say a little prayer for Jada.
Yeah.
Jada
What kind of dog
Jean
is she?
Jumping Bean, a brown one.
She's a rescue, correct?
We got her from the Humane Society.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. But
So-
she's y'all's baby.
Yeah, she's so sweet too. She's really sweet.
She's not the killer dog.
No. The
Okay.
other one.
The other one's the killer dog.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is the angel.
Yes. This is the one I have a shirt with her picture all over it. They gave me a shirt when we adopted her.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Well, she'll be okay.
I just have to say a little prayer for Jada Jean.
Yes, definitely.
anyway.
Well, she'll be okay.
Coming up after the news, top of the hour, Grace Ann Blake, Caddo Parish Commissioner, going to join us. Yesterday's meeting, there was some few fireworks. Mm-hmm. And about this data center moratorium proposed by John Paul Young.
Yep.
But it may not be an issue.
Looks like it might be dead. Yeah.
We'll find out more about that after the news. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710keel.com. .101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, and on the free KEEL app. That's how you get in touch with us through the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker hotline. Is Grace Ann Blake joining us this morning, Caddo Parish Commissioner. Grace Ann, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Very well. Heard the meeting, the work session yesterday was rather exciting. So what is the current status of this data center resolution?
So the resolution failed, and as it stands, it's not moving forward.
So it will not be on the agenda for Thursday's meeting?
No, from what I understand, and I might need clarification, a lot was happening pretty quickly. Commissioner John Paul Young asked for an ordinance. I've actually never seen a commissioner ask to have something written up in the middle of a work session. Not that you can't. You're not sure on that. But when we went on to delve deeper into it, we don't have the right to do so legally. We don't have any say. We don't have a master plan. So there would really need to be a different path forward. And I think that falls on the shoulders of us talking to the people that wanted to have the zoning taken away from the rural community. And so there would be, I think, we would need much more conversation.
So you're saying you have no control over what goes into property that's out in Caddo Parish outside that 5-mile boundary buffer zone from Shreveport?
Correct.
Exxon could put a refinery in Blanchard or in outskirts of Blanchard.
As far as I understand, it can. And, when legislation was put in place, people tried to explain that, listen, you will then have different issues than you wanting to have control on your own personal property. And so, I think that there just is a way deeper conversation that needs to be had. And as a commissioner, I care about economic growth. I care about safety and welfare of our community. And, I believe in doing things legally, plain and simple. And so right now, I think we really need to look at the huge, awesome opportunities moving ahead with an industry that is here. It's been here. It's been right here in the city of Shreveport for quite a while. And so doing it right is what's happening with these data centers. And so we should hold people accountable to doing what's right under our laws.
And the crowd seemed to be pretty supportive of this moratorium, though, didn't they? Did a lot of people speak for it?
We had 11 people come and speak, and they have come to many meetings to speak. And, I think that our past president, Stormy Gage Watts, did her best to explain we are giving all the information that we can give to you to share the facts of what we can do, and that we would love to hear your concerns. But it doesn't seem to matter how many facts that we give. There's other misinformation that's presented, or people have fears, and there are, I believe, we have elected officials that are playing into fear-mongering. That's unfortunate.
One of your fellow commissioners just texted me and said the resolution did not fail. It was moved to Special Projects Committee unanimously.
Okay, but let me correct that. There was a lot moving quickly, and so that's a great place for it to be. Let special projects listen to the concerns of the people and move forward if there needs to be some different direction. And it's going to, bottom line, it has to do whether or not we have control in the zoning.
On the question of transparency, can you tell us today how many of your fellow commissioners signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement? Do you know which ones did, which ones did not?
I do not.
Well, that's a problem. That's a problem. We don't even know who signed one.
I mean, John Paul said something, Commissioner John Paul, that, we're not to do polling. Well, we don't cross-talk about a lot of issues. We're sitting here working in our districts. We will at times call and say, I have an opinion. I heard of nothing of NDAs. I've been to many meetings, economic planning committee meetings. I never heard of that. I do know that 2 commissioners traveled to go tour a data center. And this is going to be me assuming. We know that saying about what assuming is, but I assume those two commissioners signed an NDA probably to protect the name of the company until things move forward. That is not uncommon. You've spoken about this greatly on this radio show. That's how business moves forward, through government and private entities. And so I don't have a problem with that. Nobody has broken any laws. In fact, the data centers have proven to follow and be really good stewards of this community. And I want to keep pointing that out. That's what's important.
So
are these centers following all of our requirements, our guidelines, and our laws? Yes, they are.
So this has gone to a special projects committee. What does that mean? Does that mean it's kind of sort of tabled kind of thing, or does it? Were there more discussion?
Meeting where there would be more discussion, and so the chair of that committee has the right to have a meeting when they choose. They might want to gather information, sit down, and listen to the needs or concerns of the community for special projects.
But as far as the overall commission, all members of the commission, do you feel like there was support for this moratorium? From what I understand, only a few voted for.
I think that there's concerns for the legality and the reasons behind it. And let's just point out, we can't just exclude all other industries in this realm. Like, this is, and we've talked about that before in work sessions, that why are we solely focusing on this technology industry? Should we not be focusing on oil and gas? The auto industry. That's a great concern. And as a business owner, these are questions that really are important. We all have emotions. I live in high emotion, but I base what I'm going to do on the facts, not the emotion.
Okay.
You can have all the emotion, but we need to stick with the facts.
Let me ask you this. You said these data centers so far have been good stewards. Let me take you to State Line Road, where those bulldozers, those machines are up and going at 3:55 in the morning in a rural, quiet area. That's not a good steward if that's your home across the street. How do you answer that?
A good steward corrects it. And so that was brought to our attention. I pretty much can guarantee you that this company wants to be a good steward. And if they found out, they're working hard to correct that situation. And, in the process of any new growth, any new build out, anywhere in society, there's going to be these types of issues. And it's important that, once again, we hold people accountable when we should. So follow up and find out, has Amazon, are they being good stewards in that regard?
But I would also think that maybe temperatures are going to reach 104 real temperature with the heat index in the 100 teens. There might be some understanding of we're trying to get some work done before it gets so hot on our workers.
I think there's compromises in everything that we do. Recently, Uri Drive was redone, and I had equipment. It was definitely a headache, and the noise. So I 100% understand uncomfortable noise issues. So, I think that's just following back to holding people accountable and companies accountable.
And understanding that that's a temporary inconvenience.
100%. 100%. Yeah, and about the property issue, everybody has issues when something is built next to them. Okay?
Sure.
It's fortunate when that happens in life, but once again, this was dezoned. So there was legislation. Everybody was aware of what was going on. And that is, sad if somebody has something being built next to their property that they were truly unaware of, but that is a part of growth. I have a vape store down the street from my house. I'm not happy about that every single day. So,
especially when they've been busted on selling to minors.
President Young, that's correct. President Young brought up something very, important. growing up, he lived next to Calumet. We have many companies and industries that are inside of areas that, people have lived with, that they grew up and sometimes had no clue that was going to happen. Walmart, when Walmart opened up in the city of Shreveport, a lot of people were very unhappy in their neighborhood when that happened.
Gotcha.
So I just think that there's just a reality that, yes, growing pains are tough, but we need to stick to the facts. We need to fix and stick to legal truth.
I got a serious question when we come back. We're going to let you go, but I want to talk about a ruling that your attorney made yesterday that I have serious questions about. I want to talk about that with Mike when we get back.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Let's get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, I'm going to be real petty right here because I saw something at the commission meeting yesterday that really bothered me, and a ruling from the parish attorney that I thought, I think that's wrong. And I grabbed my phone and I went and did the math. They had a call for the question, which is let's end debate and vote. And there were 11 members there.
So why is it call for the question?
That's just Robert's Rules of Order. Call for the question.
Okay.
We only have 2 minutes, so let me get to it. Call for the question. So they voted.
Yes,
the vote was 7-4. Okay, there's only 11 people there. Roy Burrell was absent.
So you need 2/3, right?
You need 2/3 of the 11, not 2/3 of the 12. So I put in my phone, what is 2/3 of 11?
Uh-huh.
And it's 7 1/3.
So would that mean you would need 8?
You would need 8
because it's more than 7.
7 is less than 2/3, right?
I guess technically.
7 votes technically is less than 2/3.
Okay.
Are we all agreeable on that? 7 is less than 2/3.
Well, I'm Caddo Parish product. So.
Yes, so you had a ruling from your parish attorney that 7 votes was sufficient to call for the question. 7 was not 2/3. 7 was less than 2/3.
Okay.
So
technically.
So much of that was probably somebody that was still waiting to talk should have been allowed to talk. So I unless there's a ruling that you count the 12 and 7 is 2/3 of the 12, I think that ruling was out of order, and I'm curious why nobody really said anything. Maybe
because
they did.
It needed to be 2/3 of the present voters.
That's what they said.
Okay.
Well, 7 is not 2/3 of 11.
Right.
It would be 7 1/3. So 7 votes is under 2/3 is my point.
Mm-hmm.
7 is under 2/3. So how did you issue that ruling? I don't understand that. I was confused, and I'm curious if somebody's ever asked, if they've asked her, how did you rule that? Did we do the math? Anyway, maybe we didn't get the decimal points. Maybe the decimal points we can toss out. I don't know. Anyway, it's a technicality.
Maybe it needed to be more than 7.5. Maybe if it was under 7 and I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to throw it out there.
I know. I thought, I don't think that ruling was right. I thought that was wrong, and maybe I'm being stupid. Anyway, it's silly. It's off in the weeds. I know, but when I saw it, I went,
"It's interesting."
It is. So how else are we ruling like that? If it's an important 2/3 vote, we need to be right. I mean, this call for the question is not that huge of a deal, but if it's a huge 2/3 vote, we need to have it right. So they need to figure out what is 2/3 of 11. What is 2/3 of 10? We need to know. Anyway, I don't get it. 7 votes is less than 2/3 is all I'm telling you.
Poor Horatio. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Backpacks and school supplies are easy. Great sleep? That's the upgrade they'll feel every single night. This school year, give them a better bed with Kariloha bamboo sheets. Kariloha bamboo sheets bring soft, cool comfort to dorm rooms, apartments, and bedrooms at home, with breathable comfort that feels like a fresh start the second their head hits the pillow. Now through move-in week, get 35% off at Kariloha.com. That's CARILOHA.com. Sleep better from night one with Care Aloha. Care Aloha, the softest bedding on the planet.
More breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
All right, I'm looking at the numbers. 8 is not even 2/3 of 12. You've got to
Right.
I
know.
And you're doing research over there, and
My phone's blowing up is what's happening.
And according to Robert's Rules of Order, if you have a percentage, you must round up to the next number. You don't round down.
Right. And what we're referring to, if you're just joining us, there was a vote. It was an insignificant vote, but it was a call for the question, which means let's end debate and vote. And this was at the Caddo Commission meeting, and there were 11 members present, and 7 of them voted to call for the question, which ends debate. And we vote on it now. Nobody else can comment. John Paul Young was waiting to comment. I think Chris Crackman was waiting to comment. So they voted to end debate on a 7-4 vote. The parish attorney ruled 7 was appropriate because you need a 2/3 majority to call for the question. She ruled it was proper that 7 was enough votes for a 2/3 majority. Well, 7 of 11 is only 7 is 7 and a third is a
7.33.
7.33.
Right.
So it's not enough. You'd have to have 8 votes to have a 2/3 majority. And I'm looking at the Roberts Rules, and it says if all 11 board members vote, then 2/3 is 7 1/3. So you need at least 7 1/3 votes. Yes, 7 does not meet the threshold, but 8 does. So I'm not sure. And someone else texted me and said, everyone makes mistakes. Perhaps she made a mistake. It wasn't a critical vote. I get that. That's fine. But we need to know from now on.
But, okay, no.
Because future votes, this makes a difference.
But saying it wasn't a critical vote, that's not really, it doesn't matter. It's a vote. It's a vote on the record.
Right.
It needs to be correct because otherwise, then you start questioning all of the votes.
Yeah, the next vote, you can say, well, you ruled before 7 votes was fine.
Right. You're setting, exactly.
So now 7 votes is fine. 7 votes is 2/3 majority. And like you said, 7's not even 2/3 of 12 either. So I think it was an incorrect ruling by the parish attorney, and I think somebody needs to correct it and go research it. Look at the Roberts Rules, official site. You would have needed 8 votes for that to have passed, and it only got 7. So you ended debate prematurely when you still had commissioners on the board to talk. Does that mean that everything they did after that was wrong? I don't know. Do we need to come back and let those commissioners speak that didn't get a chance to speak? I mean, did it muck up the whole meeting? I don't know. For me, no. I mean, but for me, it's like future votes, we better have this right.
I got a question when we get back. We're going to change gears.
Let's do that.
We're going to completely change gears when we get back.
Okay, we'll loosen up.
Loosen up a little bit.
Right,
Mike
good.
and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710, KEEL.com.
Back to the big stories of the day with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Now for something completely different. Sorry, I got to change gears for just a minute because you had a story in the news about iconic Louisiana foods.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, where is whom made up this list?
This is from Southern Living.
Oh, Southern Living.
Yeah, it's very reputable. Very reputable. And they named 10 food brands from Louisiana.
Even more. There's even more of my question.
Which are among the South's most iconic. Now, I don't have the full list in front of me, so you can't question me on it because I didn't know what you were doing. But I have 3 that are on the list.
Okay, because I got to know why Tabasco wasn't on that list.
Probably is.
Okay.
I just named 3 in my story.
Okay.
But there's 10.
Okay.
But there's 10. So I'm sure
Blue,
Tabasco.
And Blue Plate, what?
Mayonnaise. You just made me say that, didn't you? You just made me say mayonnaise. How you supposed to say it? How you supposed to say it?
Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise.
It's spelled.
Did you never watch Officer and a Gentleman?
Yes, I did.
Mayonnaise.
That's how it's spelled. Mayonnaise.
Thank you.
Mayonnaise.
Not mayonnaise.
But it's mayonnaise in my house. Can you bring me the mayonnaise?
I'm sorry, that's so funny.
Blue Plate mayonnaise is on the list.
I've got their spicy mayonnaise in my fridge right now. It's really good.
He just said mayonnaise.
No, he didn't.
He didn't?
No,
Okay.
don't.
I'm just going to say
You're reaching there. You're reaching for that 2/3.
Cajun country rice is on there, the best rice ever. If you don't buy it, you're wrong.
I guess I've never even heard of it.
You need to buy it.
It's
it's
very good.
Game changer. Game-changing rice. And camellia beans, which if you're making red beans and rice and you're buying any other kind of bean, you're an idiot.
Is it Camellia or Camilla?
Camellia.
Okay.
I believe, yeah, camellia.
We're just mispronouncing everything today.
Are we? Yeah, we're messing it all up. I'm sure Tabasco's on the list. I haven't seen the full 10 list of Louisiana's, but I'm sure that it's got Tabasco on there. I think beignets are on there, too. I think that was the piece that we had last week.
What is?
Oh, yeah.
What is?
Beignets.
Okay.
Did I say it wrong, too?
No, you got it.
Begnets. Begnets are on there.
Yeah, that's it.
You'll find begnets.
Begnets are awesome.
But yeah, I actually had red beans and rice last night, and you can tell the camellia beans they're the bomb. They're the bomb. Definitely.
Okay, 10 Louisiana brands. Yeah, right at the top, Tabasco.
Yeah, Tabasco's on there.
Tabasco, I mean, not only is it a fantastic product,
Love
but
Tabasco.
it's really popular right now because it's only got 3 ingredients.
Does it really?
Yeah, peppers, oil, and salt, and that's it.
Wow. I know I had to bring Tabasco when I went to visit my son in Hawaii. He said, Mama, bring some bottles of Tabasco, because they were putting it on everything, and so I dragged it with me.
Cane syrup.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man, some of that on a biscuit.
Louisiana tea.
Ooh, okay.
Louisiana hot sauce.
All right.
Zapp's potato chips.
Okay,
Yeah.
those are delish.
Okay, real quick. I know we got your money coming up, but you said red beans and rice, and this just and look, I love me some Popeyes. Mm-hmm. Spicy chicken.
Yes.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Dina brought some home last night. She goes, "Did you see what I got you for supper?"
Oh.
And one of the sides was red beans and rice.
Okay.
But I don't know who was scooping it up, but it was 90% rice.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, wait, whoa.
Hey, where's the sauce? Where's the beans? Where's all the good stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. 90% rice. Mm-hmm. So I don't know which one it was. I don't know where she was.
I love red beans and rice. And I like a good portion of rice, but I want some red beans and sausage in there too.
When you're getting from Popeyes, just go with the dirty rice. Skip the red beans and rice. It's hit or miss. The dirty rice is better.
The dirty rice is good.
Dirty rice and their green beans that they used to do that they don't do anymore. You mix that in with the dirty rice. Just mix them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm hungry now.
So good.
Yeah, really.
So good.
Definitely.
Mike Busada is the attorney for the Richland Parish Data Center, Meta. He took some issue with some of the things that John Paul Young was saying.
Yes, he did.
We'll let him clarify after the news. 101.7 FM, 710.
Of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
All right, follow up on our discussion last segment. Popeyes does have Cajun rice. We got a message they don't have Cajun rice anymore. I think they do have the Cajun rice. They stopped with something else, but they brought Cajun. I think they stopped it for a while, but they brought it back. But they did not bring the green beans back. And I miss the green beans.
Yeah.
And they have a home-style mac and cheese.
Oh, is it good?
It says here, right here, creamy mac and cheese with baked topping.
I need help with this because I love mac and cheese, but I'm picky. And they used to have a lady that made it in the Kroger on Uri Drive. And it was the best mac and cheese you could ever eat. It was creamy, but it had the crusts kind of on the top or the sides. That was perfect. And she's gone or she's no longer there. So the last 3 times I've gone in there, it's not been great. It's been okay, but not great. I want to know who has the best mac and cheese in town. It can be Chick-fil-A. I don't care. Let me know what it needs to be creamy, though. I would love it if it had the brown crust on parts of it, too. That would be great.
See, what about Piccadilly? To me, it seems like something Piccadilly would do well.
Well, Piccadilly doesn't have the crust part on it. Their mac and cheese is okay. I don't want it to taste like it's fake cheese either. I'm not a huge Velveeta fan.
Oh, I do. I love Velveeta.
No.
Yeah, me too.
No,
I love it.
No. I just want message us, please, on the Shreveport Security Systems message board, because I'm wanting some
cheese is actually Velveeta.
I want some mac and cheese, and I want it to. I'm very picky about it.
Obviously, if you don't like Velveeta.
I know, and I can make my own. I can make my own, but I don't need to make a whole tray of it. I just want 1 or 2 servings every now and then, and that's all I need, and I'm good, because I'm not probably supposed to be eating mac and cheese. But who's got the best? And I've tried a few. Yeah, in town. I don't care if it's, Gibbons, whoever. Where's your favorite mac and cheese? Let us know on the message board. I'm going to put something on Facebook, too, so you can share. And if you say my house, you need to put the address, and I'm coming over.
Right.
Don't say my house. Don't say my house unless that's an invite. My house has the best mac and cheese. Don't tell me that unless I'm invited. Okay? Because a lot of people say, oh, my house. When I go, where's the best gumbo? My house. Well, I'm coming to get some then. I want to try it because I miss that mac and cheese. It was so good.
Now, did you ask at Kroger? What happened? Why?
If I ask them, it's like saying this tastes like schnitzel.
Well,
where's the lady who used to make it good?
Maybe they need to know. A lot of times a manager will go, you know what? Thank you.
We did change our recipe. Yeah,
it's like somebody's brake lights. When you see somebody's brake lights, how do you know if your own brake lights aren't working and if somebody doesn't tell you?
Especially now, you don't need an inspection sticker. How did I see another post on Facebook? Do I need to get an inspection sticker?
Yes, get one.
No.
Go get one.
You don't need an inspection sticker.
Go see where you can find one.
I need to inspect some mac and cheese is what I need to do. Some good stuff.
Well, maybe somebody will let us know.
And if it's dry, don't even put it up there. I don't want any dry mac and cheese. Yuck.
Message board blowing up. I love it.
Is it?
Absolutely love it.
Oh, mac and cheese. Holy cow.
Coming up, we're going to talk with attorney Mike Busada with the Richland Parish Metadata Center. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, and on the free KEEL app. .101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Shreveport attorney Mike Busada, also the attorney for the Richland Parish Metadata Center. Now, when we had John Paul Young on, we spoke to him yesterday, and he was talking about his moratorium against data centers. He brought up the Richland Parish Data Center. And soon after that, we heard from Mike taking issue with some things that John Paul Young said. So, Mike, first of all, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing very well. Thanks for joining us this morning. We wanted to give you a chance to explain what you had some problems with.
Well, yeah. Look, this is not directed towards Commissioner Young. This is something I've heard over and over again, and what you're hearing by different things on social media is that in Richland Parish that they do have problems with the data center. And as somebody that represents the local government in Richland Parish and that works with them, I'm not here to speak in my role as the attorney for the parish, but I can tell you as an attorney for the parish, but I can tell you that in working with them, the atmosphere and the environment in Richland Parish is very supportive of data centers. I was with about 3 weeks ago, I was with the superintendent of Richland Parish Schools, a group of teachers, the head football coach of Mangum High in Richland, and a bunch of their leaders, community leaders, to celebrate the quadrupling in size of the metadata center.
Wow.
And everybody was there very excited about it because they've seen tremendous benefits. As somebody told me, we now have the ability to keep our children in this parish, and that wasn't an easy option.
And it was
just 10
already
years ago.
huge.
Already huge, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mike, let me ask you, let me be real clear. You're not paid by Meta. Explain who you work for.
So I represent local governments, throughout the state, and I represent the community side, and I negotiate, and I go back and forth with these companies to try and fight to get the best deal for our local communities and to make sure that we have good things in place and we get a good deal so that we all benefit.
Are you involved in the negotiations here in Caddo Parish or Shreveport?
I was.
Did we get the best deal here?
I think we did. I think we got a phenomenal deal here based on one simple fact. In 2 years, when these data centers are constructed, Stack and Amazon will be the largest taxpayers in the parish of Caddo and in the city of Shreveport, the largest in history. It would take us 40 years to try and build up a company to make them the largest taxpayer. This is going to happen in 2 years.
Mike Busada, local attorney, and you're working with Richland Parish. If you could address the concerns, and we've talked about this before, that people have about data centers, electricity use, and locals' rates and water usage. What do you say to those people that are concerned with those and noise problems?
All great questions. And one of the things we looked at when we did the Richland Parish data center with Meta, this was one of the first times in the country because we saw the issue with electricity that you hear about in other parts of the country. And so under the leadership of the governor and local officials, we started a new paradigm. We said no longer will ratepayers be responsible for subsidizing building the new electric transmission and generation. And so in that deal, it was one of the first in the country that requires that the companies build out their new generation facilities. And so what happens is they build out the new facilities, but then they're also required to pay into the system that maintains all of our existing facilities, that maintain all the power lines, that maintain all the crews that cut the trees and do all the things that keep the grid stronger. So we're getting additional help from them. They're paying into that system where they weren't before. And as you know, we've seen a lot of power outages. When these companies come in, they spend a lot of money upgrading the system because they cannot sustain a power outage. And so you can't just turn the power off for one company and not another. We're all in the boat together, and when they're here, they're going to make sure that our power is not going out.
Mike Busada, attorney, let me ask you this, because this is something that the secrecy is what is troubling most people. And now our Public Service Commission voted 3-1 to allow Meta to keep details about the Richland Parish Data Center secret. Why? Why does it have to be a secret still?
Yeah, look, I mean, I have not followed that specific thing closely. I have seen some of the reports. I can tell you that some of the things that people are saying are being kept secret, like their jobs numbers and all of those things. It's not secret. I mean, all that information is filed with the Louisiana Workforce Commission. It's filed with the parish as part of the incentive package. That data is there. It just doesn't go to the Public Service Commission because that's not what the Public Service Commission does. So I think that part of that story is misleading in the fact that, yes, the PSC is not going to require them to provide employment data, just like they wouldn't require any private business to. But that data does go to multiple agencies in the state, and we have it.
Mm-hmm. Are you convinced, and let's take you inside the Caddo Parish meeting room yesterday, where a bunch of folks spoke, hoping for a moratorium on data centers, in the parish. Is that a good move? Does that send the wrong message to business?
Yes.
At the end of the day, one of the things I've learned in being in economic development for 20 years is when you start to say you're against a particular business, the business community as a whole, all these corporate headquarters that are looking to where they invest, like Trader Joe's. We always thought we wanted Trader Joe's. The CEO of Trader Joe's doesn't hear, well, this is just data centers. They want to determine what businesses win and what businesses lose. and it comes across as anti-business. And that's not, I know that's not the intent of people, but that's been my experience, is that when you have a government that wants to get in and regulate private businesses to that degree, whether or not it's this type of business or that type of business, that all gets lost on the decision makers that are deciding where to invest their capital.
And that's my concern is because I am so pro economic development, and when we raise issues like this, it's like you say, it's a red flag to business CEOs that are looking to redevelop in other areas.
Well, and look at, think about this. The sales tax revenue in Richland Parish tripled over the last year. That's why they were able to give teachers bonuses of up to $50,000 per teacher this past year. They're able to build roads and infrastructure that were never possible before, build new schools. All of these things that we desperately need in the Shreveport-Bossier area. We talk about, we wish we had more of this and more of that, and that all costs money. It costs money to hire more people to pick up trash. It costs money to hire more police officers. And right now, if we do that, either you and I, the taxpayers, have to foot 100% of the bill, or we can recruit companies in who will share that burden with us and will share it at a much higher level. I would rather bring in others to help with it as opposed to me having to bear the whole burden.
Attorney Mike Busada, thanks for sharing your perspective. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You bet.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you soon. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ooh, following up on an earlier segment, you were asking about the best mac and cheese in town. We got a lot of responses, including somebody sent us a recipe.
They sure did. To which I replied, what time will it be ready?
Which includes nutmeg and Parmesan cheese.
Sounds yummy.
Oh, my gosh.
And just shoot me a message when it's ready. I'll come. I'll meet you at the duck pond and we'll chow down.
And I mentioned that my wife brought home some Popeyes for me.
Uh-huh.
And it had, one of the sides was red beans and rice. Mm-hmm. But this particular was like 90% rice. It was really kind of disappointing. And I love Popeyes.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
I like a good helping of rice in my red beans and rice, but I need a lot of red beans.
I don't mind some rice.
I'm okay with it half and half, to be quite blunt.
No, less rice than that.
Really?
But we did get a message that says Popeyes is not the spot for red beans and rice anymore. Southern Classic or Chico Fish.
Really?
I've never been to Chico Fish.
Okay. Never been either.
I think they're relatively new in our market.
Southern Classic has red beans and rice?
Yeah, I didn't know
Who
that.
knew?
Now, see, people are like, Southern Classic is the best ever. I'm not gonna sit in a line on the highway to go get some fried chicken. And look, it's good, it's fine, but I've had Southern Classic, and it's not people wanting to smack their grandmother over this chicken.
I don't really want to say this out loud. I really don't. Ruben, I think I'm going to get kicked out of the city. I've never had Southern Classic.
Wow.
I've been here 40 years.
Yeah.
I've never had Southern Classic chicken. How have I not?
I've had it. It's fine. I mean,
it's good chicken.
Fried chicken. I mean, fried chicken to me, it's like
I don't
fried
do
chicken.
I don't
it's
do
like
fried
ice cream.
chicken.
You can't. It's hard to screw it up.
I don't do it anymore. I make a great fried chicken because I make it with sugar frosted flakes.
Oh,
That's my secret recipe.
Yeah, you do.
And it makes the chicken darker, but it's got a sweet crust on it. I mean, it really is good. But it's too much trouble to make.
Sounds like
not happening. Not happening. I can't eat it anymore. I can't eat a whole lot of fried food anymore.
Well, why don't you be considerate for other people?
What time is it, Ruben? It's time to take a break.
As far as sides at Southern Classic go, I will say the sweet corn grits are really good.
Oh, that sounds good.
Sweet corn grits.
Ooh.
Yeah, you'd have to check that out.
You're going to make me go buy that. Wow. Now, do they do a grilled chicken of any sort?
I don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think there's a grill in that building anywhere.
So it's all fryers. It's all fryers.
Yeah.
I got a buddy. I say, hey, where do you want to go to lunch? And the response is always the same. Any place with a deep fryer.
Look what I just got from a buddy of ours. Southern Classic red beans on top of their corn grits.
I'll take it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try that because I like red beans.
And don't misunderstand me. Southern Classic chicken is fine. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't get the
yeah.
mania over it.
You just got to go at the right time so the line isn't all the way in the street. That's the only trick.
Yeah, exactly. Man, we talked about food today. Now I'm starving.
I'm starving to death.
Man.
I know, right?
Oh, what time's that mac and cheese going to be ready? I need to know. Yeah.
We spoke to Grace Ann Blake a little earlier on, no?
No. Richard Llewellyn.
Oh, we did speak to Richard Llewellyn. We did talk to Grace Ann Blake, too.
Yes,
though.
we did.
We did. But Richard Llewellyn is talking about the El Nino.
Mm-hmm. And this heat.
And if you don't know what El Nino is, it's the boy. So come on. Mm-hmm. But he will explain
it's not a Mexican dish? Thinking food now.
I know, right? He'll explain that coming up in about 10 minutes. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
You don't have to worry about watering, do you?
No, I have a sprinkler system that's automatic. Did I just say automatic?
That's okay. At least you didn't say mayonnaise.
Systematic. Hydromatic.
It's like, sorry.
What were you saying?
103 degrees today with the heat index up to 109.
Not what you said.
What did I say?
See, and that's, you said the feels like.
Feels like, yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
What? Because now everybody's saying, and
the feels like temp.
The feels like temp.
109.
And who decides that?
Yeah.
Well, who decides it is because it's the heat index. Mm-hmm. It's not the feels like. Who started that?
I don't know.
Are we dumbing it down so much?
Well, sometimes we
feels
dumb.
like temperature.
It's what's you're going to feel like out there.
It feels like it's 150 degrees.
And somebody help me.
It's the heat index.
When my car temp says 108, that's my car, what my car feels like, right? Because it's not 108 degrees. We know that. But my car temp is going to say 108 sometime today because that's what it feels like parked on a pavement somewhere, right?
Okay.
Is that why some of the car temps go so high?
Yeah, with the concrete underneath you like that, it kind of radiates it.
Okay. Because the car temp is never right during the summer. It's never really what the temp is outside. It's never going to, if it's going to get to 103 degrees today, my car's never going to say that's the high for the day. It's always going to be higher than that. I always wondered about that. Isn't that silly? Sometimes I'm just silly. Sorry.
And when you're sitting in line at the Southern Classic, it's 150.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Wow. Very hot. Very hot.
It is hot. We're going to talk with Richard Llewellyn and find out. And we hear a lot about the El Nino and La Nina.
Yes.
What are they, and why are they affecting our weather so much?
Right.
We did kind of break that down with him. We'll do that after the break. Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Back with more of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.103 for our high today. Yesterday, Aaron, I've ridden a bike since I was like 15, street bikes. And I do want to wear shorts now. I know that's not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was the first day I felt like my legs were on fire.
Ooh.
Next to that motor.
I bet.
First day after 50 years of riding a bike.
Wow.
It was hot.
It was toasty.
Richard Llewellyn with the Weather Channel joining us on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Richard, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all this morning?
Good.
Well, we're doing well, but we work inside. Grateful to do so. 103 today, and I just wanted to kind of find. Yesterday, you mentioned that this pattern is maybe going all the way through October?
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way. In fact, I was just looking over the numbers for the long range here as we move on out through the rest of August. And we are locked into triple-digit heat here in Shreveport all the way through August 27th right now. And I think we're going to go out, even beyond that, probably all the way out through Labor Day, the way things are looking right now, with no real signs that this pattern is going to break down anytime soon. The strong El Nino that we are having that is basically dictating world weather conditions across the planet is going to be the thing that's going to really dictate the terms of what the rest of the summer is going to be and what we're going to be dealing with as we get into winter. I was going through the data sets this morning to go back through the strong El Nino events all the way back to the 1950s to see exactly what type of winter we can expect here in Shreveport. And there's some very interesting findings looking at the last strong El Ninos that we've had here, and all of them kind of lead toward that this winter is going to be very, very wet. So we're going to be dealing with probably a lot of rain, and there's a period of time that I want you to keep in the back of your mind from December 15th to January 15th. I think that's going to be the point where we are going to really see the impacts here across the Arklatex with significant weather, because all of the three strong El Ninos back to the 1950s that I've found, there looks like the period from about December 15th to January 15th is when we deal with the most significant weather here. So I think we're going to be dealing with a lot of heat going forward all the way out through September, probably into October and November, and then we transition into a very wet pattern that'll take us all the way through the winter coming up.
Wait, let me follow up on that. December 15th through January 15th, heavy rain. That's cold. That's ice. That's storm. That's winter precip. Could that mean that too?
Well, I think that, our pattern here is trending that it's going to be a much warmer winter for us, but there's going to be these borderline events where we get enough cold air southward that we will be dealing with a potential for some winter weather. In fact, I was going back to there was one winter, 57, 58, that there were snow events down in southern Louisiana with a particular event, but nothing showed up in northwest Louisiana. So there's the chance that there will be some spotty snow events around as we get into the winter. But everything, the stronger El Ninos, 82, 83, go back to 97, 98, and 2015, 2016, those were big, prolific flood events that happened. In fact, the 82-83 event, which ran through Christmas, caused severe flooding across the Arklatex, did $200 million worth of damage, and 25 people died. And it was one of those billion-dollar disasters that they had in the early 80s. So that's one of the things that we're going to have to keep our eyes on. Another potential that we're going to also have to look at is the threat for tornadoes as we get into the severe weather part of the season, which is usually November, December, and January for us. So that's the other part that we're going to have to keep our eyes on as well.
Richard Llewellyn with the Weather Channel. You mentioned El Nino. What does the boy mean? What is an El Nino, and why is it affecting our weather so much?
Well, El Nino basically is the warming of the equatorial waters in the Pacific. And basically, when you see, they've got satellite modeling that tracks this, and every year you can see the warming and the cooling of the waters in the Pacific. This year is one of the strongest El Ninos on record that is basically not only having impacts in the Pacific, but it also has an effect in the Atlantic because of the fact that it's basically just kind of shut down the Atlantic hurricane season. In fact, we're just a couple of weeks away from the peak of the hurricane season, and it's crickets in the Atlantic right now. There's nothing going on. But if you look over into the Pacific, they had a hurricane that rolled just south of Hawaii over the weekend. Mm-hmm. They may actually deal with another storm in the next week or so as a new depression is starting to take shape there. And that is just due to the fact that the warm waters in the Pacific is dictating what type of tropical season that the Central Pacific is having right now. So even though the Atlantic is kind of shut down, I don't think that the quiet weather with this hurricane season that's going on right now is going to last. I think that there's still going to be a chance that we're going to see something that's going to try to form, close by in the Gulf of America or in the Caribbean Sea that's going to try to come up toward Texas and Louisiana as we get into September and October. So, I don't think that we're done yet with hurricane season. I think there's going to be something that's going to be a close-in tropical development that we're going to have to keep our eyes on as we get further along into the hurricane season.
So just real quickly, is La Nina the cooling of the water?
The La Nina is the cooling of the water.
Look at me figuring that out.
Yeah, so that's exactly what the El Nino is the strengthening or the warming of the water. The La Nina is the cooling.
Richard, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, sir.
We'll talk to you soon.
Mm-hmm. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Let's get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
All right, dadgummit, earlier this morning we were talking about, I got an email that from a buddy of mine,
mm-hmm.
and also do some work with him.
Yes.
Said, left you a voicemail. Click here. To hear the voicemail, to hear the voice message.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I felt a little, I just but then I thought, well, this dude, no, it's a random name to
right.
be of.
And it's somebody who's a friend of yours.
Yeah, it's a friend of mine.
He's got your number.
He's got my number.
He's not going to message you on the computer.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen like that.
And so, and I was like, against my better judgment, I clicked on it.
You clicked on it. Oh, no.
And then it said, download the message.
Oh, no. You didn't tell me you didn't do that.
I did. I clicked on that, and then I was like, this is not right. Canceled it, stopped it real fast, deleted the email real fast.
You got to go to class. You're going to have to go to class.
I'm hoping I caught it.
Okay, we hope so.
Because it didn't finish.
Okay.
It didn't finish, and so I'm like, okay, no.
They're getting
and then
so sophisticated.
It's so I texted him. I said, dude, did you send me a voice message?
Yeah.
He says, no.
It
was a phishing scam that infected my Google Mail. Son of a.
Did it really infect it?
That's what he said. Infected my Google Mail.
Oh, so it's sent out to many people from him.
He says, I had an email voicemail from the mayor because we're doing a couple of jobs for him. I downloaded it on my phone, and the rest is history.
Oh, no.
It got me.
Friend called me from Baton Rouge a couple of days ago.
So just real quick, if you get a voice message from me, ain't me.
It ain't him. She got her Facebook taken over. And she's been dealing with Meta to try to get back in her Facebook, and she's been locked out of her own Facebook, and she's one of these who lives on Facebook. So she called me and she said, you know anybody that can help me with this? And I said, well, that's way out of my league. But she said, tell everybody you know, change their Facebook password periodically, go in and change it, because they're out there fishing to try to get into your Facebook. And once they lock you out, you're locked out, and they've got everything you have.
There has got to be a special place in hell for these dirt bags. And Mike, this is what they do.
Mike, half the time it's bots that they set up these bots, and they're like, go try to gather information. And these bots are just trolling through.
Well, yeah, but somebody set those bots up.
Somebody set them off. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it is just irritating. So any of your social media, any of your stuff online, advice now, go in and change, your password periodically, just to make sure, and keep it somewhere where it's safe so that you know it and somebody important in your life knows it. Because, at some point, somebody's going to have to come behind you and take care of your social media. And you need some kind of instruction on how you want that handled. Because you're going to have photos, you're going to have all kind of memories there that somebody's going to want.
Wait. Sometimes somebody's going to have to come in behind you? You mean like after you're gone?
After you've croaked, yeah.
So, Ruben, do you have a buddy to come in to clear your browser history?
100%. 100%.
You don't have somebody coming in behind you?
Clear my browser history.
Yeah, get that stuff out of there. Yeah.
Hide my bong. Yeah.
Everybody knows about that anyway, right? Yeah.
That's funny.
We're going to talk to Chris Crackman tomorrow morning in the 7 o'clock hour as the saga continues.
You bet.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.